All right. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Carvel Community Meeting. Today's date is 9th October 2024. If you're watching this as a recording, we encourage you come join us live. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's an opportunity to meet and listen to what the maintainers are working on, provide live feedback, ask questions, or get live help with any of the tools. For those that are here today, if you have anything you wish to discuss with the community, please add that to the discussion topic section at the end of the agenda below. If you aren't able to attend live and would like to reach out to us with questions or feedback, you can also find us on the Kubernetes Slack workspace in the Carvel channel. You can email us, find us on GitHub, and on X at carvel_dev. When you attend these meetings, we ask that you please read and abide by a code of conduct, which is linked out here in the agenda. For those in attendance, please add your name and any organization that you represent to the attendees list here. All right. That is taken care of. Now on to going to the screen where I can actually see the agenda. All right. So there are a couple of announcements that I wanted to make. One is we have been called out by Cloud Foundry. And I was wondering if anybody's aware of this. Simplifying installing kapp-controller with trusted registry CA. That would be interesting to find out what is happening there. If I come to know more, probably next week, I'll let you all know. Another discussion that Carvel was mentioned on was, of course, in a talk by Ashish, our last year's mentee. He did a talk in a talk called as LFX Mentorship, in which he talked about Carvel, and it is approximately 5 minutes long. It's in this particular video, and it starts at around 41 minutes, 30 seconds. So do take a look. It'd be nice to hear out what Ashish has to say about how his mentorship went. Anybody else wants to add to the content or anything that they have seen mentioned about Carvel or any of the tools? All right, moving on. Since we last met, there is a PR up for stricter caching of vendor.
So I just actually put in 2 updates from some items we discussed the last community meeting. So I've put up the PR, which sort of makes the caching that vendor does for image package bundles a bit stricter, so that we don't run into weird scenarios where on changing the registry, nested bundles are still referring to old content. And Praveen's also worked on the flag for, so essentially we had a dangerous flag which introduced certain behavior, but it's not that dangerous anymore. So we're trying to move away from it. So that's some work we have done this week. And yeah, we're looking to merge these changes in this week.
All right, anybody has anything that they want to ask about this? Or we are good? Okay. This is the second one you were referring to?
Yes. I didn't link it, and I'll probably throw that in there.
Okay, I don't think there are any updates to the project roadmap. We are still on to the old roadmap. No progress have happened there. In the backlog, I see, Somik, have added changes in the PR implementing. We have some issues suggesting website changes and a PR implementing them.
Right. So I just this happened last week, and I was meaning to take a look at it. Someone suggested some stylistic changes on the website, and someone put up a PR for it. So I'm just gonna like take a closer look and merge it in if it's something we want. It might be hacked over for spam because the two new people who made an issue and a PR pretty close to each other, but I'm just gonna take a look at it.
All right. Maybe. Yeah, last time we were also discussing how we change our messaging. Is there anything on that, or it's just styling changes?
No, so the change is around how. So if you hover on the individual tools on the homepage, it doesn't get highlighted, but the change introduces some highlighting of sorts, like the cards float or something like that.
I see.
If it looks nice enough, I don't think it'll hurt to have it in. So just got to build it and see how it looks.
Thanks, Somik. Okay, so if any releases that we did in the last couple of weeks? I am thinking not. Any upcoming releases? Praveen, kapp-controller, anytime soon?
After I'm back from vacation.
Okay. Yeah, I will not trouble you then. Moving on to the discussion topics, I see there are two topics that have been added, one by Praveen, one by Thomas. Praveen, you want to go first?
Yeah. So recently, like in Broadcom, we came across a requirement where you would want to add a secret and also export it to the same namespace so that it can be used by picked up by kapp-controller. Like if there are any placeholder secrets in the same namespace, then it becomes like kapp-controller is able to basically use that secret. And right now we have secret export, but it's like we have to specify either the namespace name or like star where it basically is exported to all the namespaces or some matchers. We don't have something like where we can export it to the same namespace. And we were trying to like think whether it should just be a simple annotation on the secret which exports it, or it should be via secret export itself, similar to the existing implementation. If anyone has any thoughts, please do share.
Could you also, is there an issue created for this already? Do we have a link to that? I would like to add it.
No, I can create one today.
All right. And what's the use case you said it is solving in kapp-controller?
Not exactly in kapp-controller, but basically, let's say we create a secret in some namespace. We don't know what's the namespace name is going to be. And later on, when the secret is created, a package install is going to be created in that same namespace. But since there's no secret export there, a kapp-controller is not able to use the secret. It does not know the name, etc. But as soon as we export it, kapp-controller will create a placeholder secret for the package install and it will get aggregated over there. So the goal is to export the secret. And there are two options, like either we go down the secret export path, which is consistent with what we have as of today, or we introduce some annotation based on which the secret gets exported. Like it's simple, the annotation approach is simple, but it's something new and not consistent with secret export.
Praveen, I'm not sure if it's been discussed, but like what's our thought process around different tokens for the same registry? Like if we aggregate them in one place, right? We still have the issue of them being accessed in order essentially, right?
So it basically picks up the closest one. Like secretgen-controller has this weightage logic where the secret which is the closest one to it is picked up. Like if there are two secrets, one is from the same namespace, another is from a different namespace, then the one from the same namespace gets picked up.
Okay. But if we somehow do have two tokens for the same registry in one namespace, like is the recommendation is to probably use another namespace in this.
Ideally that should not be the case.
But yeah, makes sense.
Now with you, do you have what's a question?
Right. Just looking at the name and like what we're trying to do, it looks like secret export. Like my understanding of secret export has been like you have a secret in a namespace, you want to make it available in another namespace. Whereas what we are trying to do here, it looks like we are trying to create a secret export object of the same secret in the same namespace, which seems like an anti-pattern. Um, because the secret is already available in the same namespace. So is there a possibility like um, instead of having like a secret export created, maybe Cap can use the already original secret that's available in the secret in the same namespace?
But like the problem is that Cap does not know the secret name.
Right.
Right. And basically then the package, the person who is responsible for authoring the package, they would have to know the secret name. Like that's the limitation. Because let's say there is a deployment or like pod in the package which has to use some image from a registry, then we have to basically provide the image pool secret name over there. But if we just give the kapp-controller creates a placeholder secret, if we just use that name, then the secret export completes that flow.
Right. And we also have this okay, that answers the question. The other point I had was we also have this option for secret export to we say wildcard of a star. So
Yeah.
that means export to all namespaces, but that's exclusive of the original namespace. So would the star would not be a solution for this?
No, because we do want to limit the permissions. Like people might have access to, like person A might have access to namespace foo and person B might have access to namespace XYZ, and they might want to have different uh different repositories in the same registry with different credentials. So as soon as we export it to all the namespaces, it's sort of privilege escalation.
Okay. Thanks.
Hey, Joe, glad you could join us.
Hey, sorry I got late to the party. I don't understand this. Why do we need to export the secret to the place where the secret is?
So that kapp-controller can use it via the placeholder secret. Like today,
So like, my question is, let's think on like on the end result. So you create a secret export, right? And you want to export the secret that is in namespace A, and you want to export it to namespace A.
yes.
Okay. So in my head, it doesn't make any sense, right? And if there's a problem, it looks like it is in the kapp-controller side. I don't understand how secretgen is involved here, because the secret is already in the correct namespace. And so I don't understand why it needs to be re-exported by secretgen.
So we have the placeholder secret object. Like basically, secretgen-controller is also watching over secrets which have the placeholder annotation. And as soon as it sees that secret, that kind of secret, it aggregates all the secret that are being imported to that namespace. And kapp-controller has this flow where it creates a placeholder secret for every package install. And we have like a naming pattern for that placeholder secret. So that placeholder secret can basically be used by any package author to author packages, and that's the end goal, that as soon as you export that secret to the namespace, the same namespace, kapp-controller can use it via that placeholder secret. Otherwise, does not know which secret to use. Or like even package authors can create a placeholder secret in the package, and it would become available in that placeholder secret.
Okay, so I understand that, but something in my gut is telling me this is not okay. Like in some sense, like having to copy, it's like ignoring like all the mechanics here, having to copy a secret to the same namespace where it already exists, so that some automation can pick it up, kind of feels like we are like there's like a step that we're missing here. There's something else that we're missing here, right? In some sense, or maybe like we're trying to use the mechanic just for the sake of using the mechanic instead of having the secret there. Like, so the question is, why is the secret in the same namespace? Why should it be in the same namespace? So like, who creates that secret in that namespace, and why is it there?
The secret is created by the package consumer. Like they would create the secret and then install the package.
Okay, so in that case, if you create the secret, shouldn't you add the secret to the package install?
That does not add it to the like, for example, if there is a deployment, we would need to fetch something from registry. We need the image pull secret on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, placeholder secret is used.
Okay, but like that placeholder secret could be replaced by the package secret, right? Like people can provide the secret to the package, and you can provide the annotation. In the annotation, you can provide a secret name, right?
The annotation for the
So there's an annotation that you can provide to package install to tell it what is the name of the secret, right?
yeah, but that does
Okay.
not like it basically fetches the package from the registry. Like it uses that secret to fetch the image from the registry, but it does not add it to the deployments. Like that's something that would be done by the package authors themselves. Like basically in a package, let's say there is a pod and someone wants to fetch something from a registry in that pod, like the image, and basically what folks can do is they create a secret, like a placeholder secret, and use that secret as image pool secret for the pod. So if there is a secret being imported to this namespace wherever this package is installed, it automatically gets picked up by that package.
Yeah, but from the thing is, there's like looks like there's an intentionality behind the creation of the secret. So just put it into the meat grinder in like a way so that it can be just funneled through. Doesn't feel correct. Doesn't feel okay. Feels like that you should provide, if you create a secret and you have like this intentionality, you should create a secret, and that secret should be provided to the package install, and the package install should be smart enough to know, okay, you provided me this secret, so I'm going to apply it to the deployment. Right? So it should be like another way to input into this workflow rather than changing secretgen to do something that in here. Like it feels like to me, it feels like that we're adding a new feature to secretgen to fix a problem in kapp-controller, right? That's what it feels like from like the way I'm seeing the problem. So in some sense, like we're not fixing a problem that kapp-controller is, we're just like adding another feature that make it the problem not be relevant in this one particular use case that very particularly you have right now, instead of like fixing the problem in kapp-controller.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
Okay,
the
cool.
only
Good. We're done. We're good, Jen.
And the only fix that we can do in kapp-controller is to like basically kapp-controller has to override the packages. Like it has to add an overlay which adds image pool secret to the deployments or like everything, all the pod resources.
No, it's like, but let's think about this. How does kapp-controller make this work with, like, if it comes from a different namespace, right? So we provide like an annotation to it, and then it picks that secret and copies that secret and like uses that secret to do things, right? So like, how does kapp-controller? Oh, you're saying no. How does kapp-controller know that it has a secret from a different namespace that was like auto-generated, that is like auto-created, whatever, that needs to add to the deployments?
It doesn't know that today. So it's the package authors who create a placeholder secret in the package and use that for the deployments.
So you're saying that the problem is that we are reading, like we're using that placeholder secret throughout. Like I forget like how this all works. So basically the placeholder secret is created and then is populated. So why do we need the annotation again on kapp-controller? There was a reason for the annotation to be in kapp-controller.
Like if someone does not want to use secretgen-controller, that was an alternative. But unfortunately, it does not work where there are deployments in that package.
Great. So we found the problem, right?
But there's no clean solution other than like overlaying the package.
But in reality, what you're saying is that if you want a user, so like you're a user and you want to use kapp-controller and you don't care about secretgen-controller, there's a workflow that doesn't work. And the workflow is simple as I have my secret in mind in the same namespace as the package, which kind of feels like that should be like the case where everything works.
Problem is that even though we have the secret in the same namespace, when we create a deployment, we have to provide the secret name. Like it does not automatically pick up even if it's in the same namespace. So
yeah, so the annotation is used by kapp-controller so it can pick up information, right? So it can pick up the images, so it can pull the images. And then it's not used at all on the deployment
Kubernetes
itself,
side.
right?
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like that in this particular scenario. Like, I don't know, feels like that. So like, what happens if I create a secret with the same name that the package expects? So like there's a, let's imagine that the package author creates a placeholder secret called bananas, right? And I know that because on the documentation it says that it's going to use a secret called bananas. So I don't have secretgen. I don't care about secretgen. So I create a secret called bananas with the credentials. What happens? Does the deployment fail?
You are saying the package creates a placeholder secret?
Yes.
Like the placeholder secret itself is not very useful if there's no secretgen-controller involved. Like it will
You're
have
the placeholder secret is a secret, or is it a secret export? It's a secret, right?
it's a secret, but it does not have any
Okay.
data.
Exactly. So what I'm
Secretgen-controller
saying
is
is
the
that
one.
what I'm saying is that I, as a user, know that the package requires or creates a placeholder secret called bananas where it reads the credentials, right? I know that because it's in the documentation. And it says that if I want to provide any kind of secrets to this package, I need to create a secret called bananas, right? So I, user, create a secret called bananas and do a package install. What happens? So the package will try to create a secret called bananas as well, a placeholder secret that's empty. Will it be able to, or will it fail the installation?
It might either update the secret or like most probably it will just update that secret.
Okay. I don't know. Not convinced yet. Like, I feel like that as a user, I shouldn't be required to have secretgen-controller in order to use kapp-controller, because like that's the premise of all our tools. And we're kind of having we're kind of forcing people to have that by saying that our package creates a placeholder secret and you need to have secretgen-controller to populate it. It kind of feels like that the best scenario would be like high level. On the documentation of the package, it says it will create, like, the credentials should be stored in this particular secret called bananas, right? And great, like, and you don't need to do anything else. And then when you're doing the package installation, when you as a user, when you create that bananas secret, it should just use that. How does the package know that that's like a secret, that the secret should be there already? Yeah, oh my God, I'm just putting my hands like, shh. Like it, I feel like that the process here should be that if I don't want to use secretgen-controller, I shouldn't have to. And in order to do that, the package should say that the secret should be created called blah. And given that that secret exists, everything should just work. That's like, as a user, not as like I'm not talking here like as a developer, how complicated this is, how easy this is to implement or anything. As a user, given that I'm given like a package that says that the credentials should be in the secret blah, if I create the secret blah, everything should work.
So even today, like you can basically go ahead and update the placeholder secret and add those credentials there and it should work. Like what secretgen-controller is doing, we can do that manually. It's just the secretgen-controller is
but after the
automating
creation,
that.
right? Like after like
After the
the
creation.
reconciliation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what happens is that on the next reconciliation, everything will be cleaned, right? Because it
No,
will be redeployed.
there are rebase rules.
The rebase rules are keeping the secret there?
Yeah.
Okay. It feels a little bit reversed, but sounds okay. I don't know, like I feel like that I'm not against like adding like more features to secretgen, but I'm not sure like in reality like how useful this is in the end, because like to be fair, I don't know like what is the use case here. So and if it is a very common use case, which I'm 100% sure it's not a very common use case, because kapp-controller exists for 4 years or something and never came up before. Right? But I don't know.
All right. I think we can park this for now. Maybe,
Yeah.
Praveen, if you can create the issue, we can have more discussion on that issue. Sure,
Yeah.
forwarded you a thread where this was happening, this discussion was happening internally. And then maybe we can take it up more over there. All right. Anything else that you want to add? Or we can move on to the next topic.
We can move on to next.
All right, Thomas, on to you.
Yes. Yeah, so I work a lot with all the different Carvel tooling. So when working with kapp-controller and packages, I mostly use YTT. And I was investigating using Q for a few use cases where I needed some different features in the language, but Q is very complicated. And I saw that in the community they've been working or they've been talking and using a lot KCL as kind of a language similar to Q, but with a lower entry barrier. And because of that simplicity, yeah, it grew in popularity also over Q. And I was wondering if, yeah, it would be a possibility, or what you think about having support for KCL, similar to how kapp-controller support Q today.
I think it's an awesome use case for the proposal you were writing. The proposal of having to have like an ability to provide like some sort of like a templating function on kapp-controller. I think this is like a perfect example where personally I think like in my head, when I think about kapp-controller, I think that there should be like a little bit more flexibility in some areas. Like for example, on the templating area, I think it shouldn't be like the responsibility of kapp-controller itself to know all the languages, but there should be like a way for you to hook in your own, I don't know, banana language that you want to template with, because it's like the best language in the world, right? So I do think that it sounds pretty good. And I think that could be like a good use case for us. Like, how can we add a new templating feature to kapp-controller without having to include that feature as well as part of kapp-controller? So I think that this is like a very like strong case. If like to be fair, I don't know, like you said that people were using KCL more on the community, and that is growing. Maybe this is like a good idea for us to think about the proposal that you were writing, Thomas.
Yeah, I got a bit stuck with that proposal because, yeah, it's a big one. Like the effect is simple, like you can integrate your tools, but it requires a lot of reasoning around new APIs and how to integrate them in the entire life cycle of kapp-controller and all these, let's call them functions or small components on the side. Yeah. So I'm for like regarding that proposal, I'm available to continue looking into that, but I feel like I would need some help or someone to spare with because I really got stuck in the design there.
I think that proposal, I think that the most complicated part of that proposal is going to be like the bootstrap, because like kapp-controller is a very closed ecosystem that doesn't allow for expansion, right? And the first proposal that comes in and says like, I want to expand, it's going to have like the hardest time. But after that, I think that things will be much easier, right? Like, I think that the first steps on like, how can we start opening kapp-controller to like some of these things are going to be the more complicated. To be fair, like, I think that what needs to happen, like, I'm not sure like how open the API is as well, the Kubernetes API, to allow you to have like some like let's call it generic fields or something like that, or we might have to like toggle in a structure that is like more generic on the APIs that we currently have in order to work around. But I think that the main issue that we'll have is that if we have like external components that are going to contribute to our custom resource, then we might have to change the way we're doing like applies, how we're applying to the cluster those resources. Maybe we need to do some server-side apply and stuff like that when we are, I'm not talking about like the kapp side, like when you're applying the configuration. I'm talking about how kapp-controller is changing the custom resources, because right now it just picks a custom resource and just put it all inside, all into the API, right? Like, we might have to change some things. So that's, I think it's going to be like the hardest thing. I don't have a lot of time right now, but maybe in a little bit of time I'll be a little bit more free, and maybe I can lend a hand with that. I'm not sure like if anybody is interested in this topic. I know that Praveen looked into some of this and has the code already written for everything, I hope. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, no, but thank you. I appreciate that. And of course, I'm available, yeah, to bring this proposal forward.
As with most things that are happening these days in Carvel, anything you're finding very difficult to find times. So it would be good to have some sort of probably commitment to ourselves that if this is important and this is good to have, we'll spend some time probably in the next couple of months to get this done.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, I understand if there are other priorities, because it's a big thing, this one. So it's totally fair to say we can reevaluate a bit in the future when there's more time or more room in the backlog. So there's absolutely no problem there.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for getting this to us. Let's see how we can take this forward. All right. One last thing to folks is the survey. Please do take the survey and add your responses to this. It's pretty simple to see what are the tools which are being used by the community and what would we like to improve in the tools at this point of time. All right. Anything else, folks? All right. In that case, thank you everybody for joining today. See you in the next meeting.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Joe also left.
Chalo. Bye.
Bye.
Discuss later on, maybe internally.